Hey treasures, welcome back to my channel. So, I know I've been gone for a long time. For the few people that actually care about me, love you. So we're just gonna address a few things in this video. Number one, I am busier than ever. I'm trying to figure out my new schedule and when I'm gonna be filming and all of that, so I can go back to being consistent. So that's gonna be happening hopefully soon. No fun being had. It's all work right now. There's no play. Hopefully that will come soon as well. And I will eventually go back to doing backdrops. It's just like so much work for me to like put it up, you know? I just am like, forget it. I can just do this, and it's just like, you know, me. Anyways, so in this video today, I'm going to be telling you about something that's like been going on for a while now. And I had told this video on my channel earlier, so if you were subscribed like earlier, like my OOOG subscribers, then you will probably have like seen this video. But right now it's private because I have it saved because, you know, I was really emotional in that and distraught, and I was like, this would be a good story to tell. And now me telling it, I'm in such a different headspace and I feel so differently about the situation that it's like, okay, I'm going to retell the story because I think that there's like a lesson in this story. So I'm going to tell the story, and hopefully it will be something that will like help one of you guys hopefully out there, because it was something that I had to learn, and I had seen a video on this previously before, and I was like, that's stupid, like that's not how it works, but it is how it works. So I want to share with you guys. So I'm going to be telling you about the time that I gave this boy 1,000 chances and he fucked up every single one of them. So if you want to hear about the time that I was a dumb bitch, then let's carry on to this video. It is hot as hell, and me being blonde, like, yes, this is like such a cute fit that I'm wearing, that I wore out to eat, and I just have to take this off. Okay, excuse me. So this happened about 4 years ago, which means that I was about like 21. And I had ended up meeting this guy, and for the sake of this video, we are going to let's call him, his name is Andre. And to be honest, when I met him, it was like me and him were friends that flirted, because if I'm friends with any guy, obviously like flirting is fun, flirting is cool, flirting is natural, so it would be like that. But we were friends, just strictly friends at this point. And so and we would talk pretty much like every single day, but you know, it wasn't like I had a crush on him, so I would like keep track of being like, oh my god, did he text me today? Did he text me this day? It wasn't anything like that. It was just like we were friends, and we like talking to each other. Obviously we were friends. So I ended up talking to him one day, and it just so happens that I was watching one of my favorite movies. And that just happened to be Chicken Little. So I'm watching Chicken Little, and I am texting him at the same time, and him and I are like, you know, just talking. And I end up telling him the movie I'm watching. And somehow by the end of this movie, him and I start like heavily flirting, like way more than we did like when we were just friends. We were heavily flirting, and after this day, we literally became like a thing. And we exchanged Snapchats at that point, and we, you know, would just like talk all the time and like flirt all the time, and it would be like, hey babe, like how are you type of thing. Whereas before it's like, yo, what up? And so this just became a thing, and that was just that. When I had this friend, and I'm gonna give her a real name because her and I aren't friends anymore, and the story is not about her. So her name was Vicky, and her and I were really good friends. She was about like 2 years younger than me, and so was Andre, okay? And so I was good friends with her, and she knew Andre as well. And she was talking to this guy, and Andre was friends with him. So we were like kind of like a foursome that would like always like talk and all these different things. And we were just like in each other's business and stuff like that. And so I would, you know, tell her about like me and Andre, and she was just like, how did that even happen? Like, I would never put you two together. And I was like, I know. But Andre had this way of making me feel like everything was gonna be okay, and I don't know, like, he just I thought I was not gonna get emotional because I'm like so over this at this point, but he had this way of making me feel like everything was gonna be okay, and he made me feel like I was this girl that I always wanted to be. I love reading, as you guys can tell on my channel. I haven't done a book video in a long time, but like I said, I have to figure all this stuff out. Anyways, um, but all the books that I read when I really, really liked the girl character, and the books that I want to write, and the rough drafts of books that I've written, they all have this strong female character, and he made me feel like that. He made me feel like I was the strong female character, like the woman that I've always wanted to be. And he made me feel like this. So naturally, you know, I'm drawn to him more and more. And he is a smooth talker. Honestly, he is okay looking. He's okay looking, but there's him that he's the player, and it makes no sense because you look at him and you're like, he would never hurt me, but he's hurt a lot of girls. So the same day that me and him just change our relationship from friends to more than friends, this girl ends up coming to us, and she's like, oh, like, don't trust him, like, and then she leaves, and I was just like, what the hell is that about? And he's like, oh, nothing, like, she's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just here thinking, like, there's no way this kid's gonna play me. Like, I'm so out of his league. I'm just thinking, like, I'm so out of his league. And yeah, like, no one's ever played me before, so, like, that's not gonna happen. And so I just kind of, like, left it. But honestly, this, like I said, this is like an advice video. If something like that happens to you and a girl's telling you about another guy, yes, a girl could be telling you that because she wants him and just to try and, like, ruin it so he'd go back to her. But also, don't dismiss it at the same time either. Like, don't let the guy let you dismiss that. Like, think about that, okay? So anyways, I dismissed it, and you know, him and I carry on talking, and then we're in this, like, foursome with my friend Victoria, Vicky, and her dude, and, you know, Andre. And so me and him continue talking, and we're talking every single day, like, we're FaceTiming every single day, and I'm genuinely, like, falling for this kid. And I don't, to be perfectly honest with you, I think I've said this a number of times, but I just don't fall in love. And, like, when I have said I've, like, loved guys before, when the relationship ended, like, I could let them go like that. Like, I did not love these people. So, but, like, with him, like, I was genuinely falling for him, and we weren't even together. We were just like, oh, we're a thing, but, like, we weren't together because it just didn't make any sense for us to be together. But we liked each other, and we just had this thing. So we just called it a thing, and, like, I would still say, like, he's mine, and I wasn't dating anybody else or, like, talking to anybody else. But relationship carries on for, like, a few weeks, months, whatever. And my friends, none of my friends besides Victoria really understood it. And it was because they all thought I could do better. And I was like, I don't care. This guy makes me feel the way that I've always wanted. You know, he just made me feel amazing. And I was going to stick with that. So let's get into the nitty gritty of things. I went to the club, and I ended up coming back home, and I was he was, you know, we're just talking, and we're talking on the phone. And, you know, at this point, he had told me that he loved me. He had told me that he loved me, or he thought he did. And I was like, don't tell me until you know for sure. And that is what I had been telling him for, like, weeks or days or whatever. And so, you know, he never actually outright said, like, I love you, but he's like, I feel like I do, like, I genuinely. And I was just like, don't tell me until you know. And so I ended up talking to him this night when I came back from the club, and my eyebrows look so uneven. Wow, that's gonna, like, drive me nuts. Anyways, so I ended up, you know, talking to him, and I don't know, I guess it was the alcohol at this point, but I got bold, and I was just like, can you just tell me how you feel about me? Because I just wanted to hear the words, you know. And I eventually, like, got it out of him, and he told me that he loved me. and I told him that I loved him too, and we ended up falling asleep on the phone together. And when I woke up, my phone was so hot. I'm just like, oh, thank you, Jesus, for not letting me die and my phone exploding like near me. Our time like literally said like 16 hours. Like, it was crazy. And so pretty much after that, he's acting the same towards me or whatever. But shortly after that, I hear a rumor, and Vicky ends up telling me that she's like, hey, so I was talking to my friend, let's call her friend Katerina, I don't know. I was talking to my friend Katerina, and she told me that Andre is, has been like flirting with her like on Snapchat, and saying like stuff about you. And I was like, oh, well, like, what is he saying? And she's like, no, like he's saying like, oh, how, he doesn't really actually like you, and he's just been trying to find like a nice way to let you down. Like, and she told me this at school, and she's like, I really need to talk to you. And I'm like, well, I'm in class right now. And she's like, no, I have to talk to you. So I remember I stepped away, and she's telling me this, and my heart just dropped. And imagine, like, this is like a couple of days ago where we're saying like I love you to each other, and at this point, like, me saying I love you to him, I genuinely meant it. I never meant it in the way that I did with other people. The way I meant it with him. And I know he meant it too. Like, this kid, this like boy, I genuinely like feel like I know him like the back of my hand. I know him so well. I know what he's gonna do before he even does it, and I feel like he knows me so well that he can read me. Like, we can just read each other really, really well. Anyways, so I remember she told me this, and my heart dropped, and I was just like, well, honestly, and I was a dumb bitch, and I was just defending him, and I was like, well, you know what, honestly, like, we're not together, and no, he's saying that because he, like, he's obviously running away because he's scared. And at this point, I'm saying he's scared because he does genuinely love me at this point, and he told me that he, like, runs away whenever things get too close because he, like, is scared of relationships and all these things. So I was like, this is what he's doing. I know this is what he's doing, and we're not together at this point, so he can talk to other girls. It doesn't make me happy, but genuinely, like, what can I say? Like, and she's like, no, like, you should be completely pissed off. Like, he's saying this about you, saying, like, like, you're just, like, chasing after him, and, like, he doesn't even want it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, honestly, like, I get it. I'm obviously mad, and I'm obviously upset about this, and don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that I know why he's doing it. And that's what girls do. Girls, when they genuinely love somebody and they're doing something that's wrong, it doesn't matter if you guys are together or not together. I think if you say that you love somebody, there is an understanding there of what you like and what you don't like for you to fall in love with them in the first place. You know what I mean? You guys obviously have to have a lot of mutual understanding for one another for you guys to even get to the point of falling in love with each other. So I don't even care if you're in a relationship or not. There is some things that they know you're gonna not like. Okay, let's be real here. So I was just like, you know what? Yeah, that's what it is. And that's what girls do. They will chalk things up because they love boys, and boys are dumb, and boys make mistakes all the time. And I'm not saying that girls don't. I'm just saying that a fuck boy problem. So I ended up, going back to class, and this was all I could think about. And I ended up leaving early because honestly that class was useless anyways, and I was just like, get to the bottom of this. And so when I confronted him about it, he was like saying that, yes, I was flirting with the girl, but like, you know how I am, and I never said anything bad about you, whatever. And I was like, okay, like, that's perfectly fine. And I left it at that, and then we, we're back to normal, and we're just talking about other shit. And then I started thinking when he wasn't near me and when I wasn't talking to him because maybe, or he had to work or something, and our communication stopped for a known reason. I wasn't upset, but it stopped for a known reason. And then I started thinking, and I've always been this person that I am never gonna let the world see a guy make me look stupid. It's always been my thing. It's even my thing now. Like, I will never let no guy make me look stupid. That no, can never happen for me, okay? So I started thinking about that, and I'm like, there's these girls now that he was talking to that I'm sure there's some truth to what they're saying, because they wouldn't just say it outright and say it to my friend and not knowing that her and I are friends or whatever, you know? So I was like, no, I'm not gonna have like these girls thinking that I'm like this older girl, like fighting for this young boy, and I look stupid, and he sold this whole narrative that like I'm like a dumb hoe. Like, this is not happening. So I started to get pissed off, and I honestly feel like I blocked some of this out because I really don't remember. But at that point, we pretty much ended things that I don't remember. I seriously think I blocked it out. And I, remember that, I was genuinely like, wow, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect any of it. I didn't expect me to even catch feelings. I didn't expect for him to be the one to play me. And yes, like, he played me, but like, it wasn't in a terrible sense, because that would just never happen to me. The fact that this happened to me, I was like, holy shit. And it's never happened to me again. Like, I've never really like fallen in love before after this. So, but yeah, like, genuinely, I was just like, holy crap. And so I ended up, cutting him off, and I was like, fuck you, like, goodbye. And so every few months he would come in and out of my life, and I would take him back and I would talk to him again, because I was like, he makes me feel this special way that no one ever has. And I never do this. Like, when I break up with people, and I'm talking about, and I never like slept with him or kissed him or anything. And I'm talking about people like I've slept with, and like I thought I was, and they fucked up. I would never take them back. I would block them, and I would think about them, but I would just get that out of my system after like a month or two. This guy, he would come back to me, and I'd block him, and he would find another device to message me on, and I would take him back, because I'm like, he's trying so hard and all this shit. And he never changed. I knew him so well that every single time him and I got really, really close and got intimate, and I'm not talking about like sexually, I'm just talking about like, I got to see the real him, and I got to see the genuine side, and I got to see his insecurities and all those different things, he would run away from me. And it was just crazy. And it's still going on to this day, except for the fact that now that I'm older, and now that I took the year off, and I've been single for about a year now, maybe two, I don't even know, it feels like a long good time though. I was just like, when he came back to me recently, I was like, wow, like, he came back to me again, and it's been months. And the last time I talked to him when he came back to me now, I like cussed him out, and I was like, goodbye, like, fuck you, like, I'm done with this bullshit. And he came back now, and I'm crazy. Every single time I think about this guy, he will come back. It's like, my soul knows his number only, and if I'm thinking about him, it translates to my soul, and it will call him, and he will come. And it's always been like this between him and I. And so I just think for some reason, like, there's still like a little bit of romance in me, and I guess it's the Libra in me. And I think, wow, we still have this soul tie. That must mean something. That must mean like maybe now is the time for him and I. And so when him and I were talking, this was like a couple weeks ago, him and I were talking, and it was like, wow, he told me like a while ago he changed, but I don't know. And we're just like catching up, and I was like to him, why do you care about me still? Well, why do you care about me? And I was like, you're always going to come back to me. And he's like, well, it's always going to be me having to come back to you. And I'm like, well, yeah, I never go back to you. Like, I never talk to you again. You always search me out. You always try extra hard. Like, why? Like, why do you do this? And like, he doesn't answer the questions, and he'll be like, I don't know, or like, he won't give me any straight answer, and he won't look inside himself to like give me a fucking answer, because that would be the most that I'd want from him at this point. Like, him and I would never ever be together. I would never ever be with him, even if he is this guy that I kept taking back and kept talking to, and he's the only guy I've ever done this with. I would never ever date him, because it would be the stupidest thing ever. I know that, and I knew that, and I've known that since the first time he ever fucked up with me. That's the difference. So anyways, what I wanted to get to is that there's this boy that I keep taking back, and I kept taking back, and I kept thinking, at least the first 2 times, he would change, and then I realized he wouldn't, and I would cut him out. But then there was a part of me that kept thinking, well, he keeps coming back, and that must mean he loves me, and he, you know, something. That must mean something romantic, that means that we're meant to be together. And just be the reminder. That could just be the universe reminding you that here is this person that you absolutely should not be with, and they're going to keep coming back. And it's like the devil's sign. And I don't want to go into religion or anything like that, because I'm not religious, but I just want to say, like, in the sense of, this could literally just be like the thing, like, oh, you're doing good and happy, you're happily single or happily in a relationship, whatever, and there's this feels so strongly towards, and it never got to work out, and then they're going to come back whenever things are great, and it's going to mess you up. And it's because the world can't give you anything else, luckily, hopefully, luckily. And it's just a reminder that, you know, there's this bad thing in human form, immobilized in human form, that you should not do. It's like a drug that you should not do, and that's what he is to me. Except now I'm completely weaned off of that. Me and him recently, you know, we talked after that conversation, and, you know, we did some things, not sexually or anything like that, not like, you know, but we talked and stuff like that, and I got used to him, and he disrupted me. Don't get me wrong, when he came back, he disrupted me, and we talked, and then when we got intimate and we started talking about and like being more open with each other, he decided to run away from me again. And at that point I realized I'm done, except this time I'm done in a new way, because when I would be done with him before, I would block him and be like, fuck you, I'm done. But this time when I was done, I didn't block him, because I think a part of me is like, now I don't even need to. I blocked him before because I was like, if I ever see him with a new girl, it would kill me. Now I don't care. I genuinely don't care. He was just this one guy that meant this to me, and now he's not. He took that power away from himself. And not that he wanted it to have a power over me or anything like that, but I do know that he knows that I am definitely something good. I do know that he knows that I am a missed opportunity, and that he will never ever be able to, I think, let himself have me. So that's just that. And I don't even want him anymore. I genuinely don't. If I see him with another girl, I just don't care. I am completely moved on, and I don't even need to block him anymore. So this is the advice that I want to tell you, is that sometimes, you know, you're going to keep taking it back because there's something there, but eventually you won't. Eventually it won't always be like that. Eventually it will be like, you will settle something inside yourself and you'll talk yourself out of it, and you'll realize, like, some people don't ever change, and if they want to change for you, they would have. You don't have to keep taking them back a numerous amount of times. They will be with a new girl, and, or if this is, you know, the opposite sex and this is happening, they will be with a new person, and you'll be like, why can't that be me, if you're still in love with them? And sometimes it's just not you, unfortunately. But the new person can come along, and you'll be that person for somebody else that's much better for you. You know, you just never know what the future holds. I'm here to tell you, you will get over them. You just have to reason it out in your head and just know, like, they won't ever change. And if you were the person that could change them, you would have by now. So now he'll message me. He let me message me earlier, and it does not affect me at all, and it won't affect me. I will see him as a new person. It will never affect me ever again. He, like, completely just drained everything that I felt for him this last time, and I'm happy about it, because now he can't ever disturb me again. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. Hopefully that will be next week, but like I said, I'm trying to figure this whole thing out with the way that things are going in my life. So next video, please subscribe and like, and let me know how you got over somebody that you kept taking back, because I genuinely want to know, and I can't wait to talk with you guys in the comments.